Welcome to the Conference Connection, your go-to place to get the scoop on what conferences are coming up that you need to know about. Here are your hosts, Paul Faust, president of Ring Boost, and Seth Price, founder of BluShark Digital and managing partner of Price Benowitz.
What's up? Paul Faust here again with Seth Price, Conference Connection, here bringing you an update on what's going on in the next month or so, conference world, where you need to be at, why you should be there. So I'm going to let Seth take it away first, and then we'll get into some of the conferences coming up.
Well, look, it's at the summer, a pretty dead time. We have we have a new arrival on the conference circuit from the NTL Association Management Group, bringing us a big truck conference that you probably know more about than I do.
Yeah, this is it's called Big Truck and Auto. BigTruckandAutoSummit.com. You can still register. It's in Chicago, August 11th through the 14th. A lot of great sponsors: Fireproof, Big Auto, Zip Leans. They got a lot of great sponsors, a lot of great speakers. I know Mike.
BluShark.
BluShark. Yo, you're also sponsoring BluShark Digital. Another. I was looking at the sponsors pop up, but I didn't see it yet. You can still register. There's time. Great event. Great speaker lineup, focusing on truck and auto accidents, how to find them, how to try them, etc. So that's the first one coming out of this.
Right. And I think what's interesting about this, we always talk about look, the people behind it, Chase Givens and the Association Management Group with Trevor, etc. These guys now know how to put on a conference. It's the first of this, but we're seeing a lot of different conferences in the trucking space, and nobody's gotten rich betting against this group. I mean, NTL became the seminal conference of the year. First time they're doing it, but I have no doubt they will bring together the trucking brain trust and make this an annual thing. They do.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just looking at some of the legal speakers: Doug Beam from Douglas Beam, Dino Colombo, Chrissy Childers, Erica Chavez, James Carter. I mean, they've got some great speakers lined up. There's vendor speaking, and coming out of the summer. Right. We just finished our first, big AHA, which is sort of coming out of the summer. This is going to be the first one out of the gate, which is going to lead us into a very, very, very busy end of year conference cycle. And, these are the events we need to be at. These are the events where we're learning about what's new, what's going on. There's a lot of stuff. And besides the tried and true trial strategies, you got what's going on in AI, how to adapt to all this stuff, all the technologies out there. So I'm looking forward to it coming up. It's in Chicago. You can go to BigTruckAutoSummit.com to register and see more of the agenda. And then right after that, September jam-packed, the ones I have.
Well, right. So let's just, look, August is usually hands-off. So it's interesting to see how somebody does in early to mid-August when a lot of people are on vacation or kids are going back to school. But September, October is always jam-packed as sort of the fall season, so to speak.
Yeah, and people have ideas for new conferences, and they're trying to find where to put them into that doesn't overlap. I mean, you look at even September. There's PIMCon's got a new conference coming on that's going to be out in Arizona. I believe that's the 15th to the 17th. Much more marketing focused. It's going to be more an event, music. That's a new conference being put on by Chris Dreyer.
Dreyer's an impressive guy and very thoughtful, and I'm sure he'll weave together great content.
Great content, but again, this one's more marketing focused.
It seems to be more, but more less. I think that's interesting. I see a trend towards sort of perspectives. A lot of thought leaders weaving that stuff together. There's sort of I think that we've seen some of the conferences still have nuts and bolts marketing tracks, but a lot of these conferences, and I think Chris sort of led the way with this, have gotten to how do you change mindset? Where can you extract things from other industries? How do you bring people that have made it and done it? If you're doing 20 million and the guy on stage has done 100 million, how do you leverage what he's done to get you there? I'm seeing a lot more of that.
Yes, and something to keep in mind is if you want to be a 100 million firm, some firms want to be a really good $5 to $10 million firm. So you get to pick and choose. Just want to throw it out there.
Well, look, going back to the person you mentioned before, like Doug Beam, great guy. This is a guy who stayed solo by choice. He's an amazing trial lawyer. And what I love about these conferences is they do bring that variety. It's whatever maybe for myself, I'm looking at my own world, what I'm looking at. But if you're somebody who wants to stay solo, a lot of my friends like John Fisher and others, there's definitely a smattering of those people that have figured out how to make a buck just being great at what they do.
At what they do, right. So that one is pimcon.org. It's at the Phoenician in Scottsdale, giving you some ideas. You've got speakers like Dan Morgan, Michael Phelps is going to be there, but you also have Mike Adler, John Berry, Amanda Demanda, Matt Dolman, Ed Herman, Jen Gore, Chris Trier, Mike Moore, Sean Knockout, Shannara. I don't know if you're speaking that one. Bob Simon, Dave. So unbelievable speaker lineup. First event, Chris is a great guy. I think he's going to put on a fun event for everybody. But another one you should be at if you're more on that kind of marketing sort of side of the business. And then you have, I think right after that, about a week and a half later, I believe Accelerator and CJ have their event in Nashville.
Right.
I don't know if that's only open to their clients. I don't believe so.
No,
I think
everybody. Usually that's done with Chad, where Chad basically just gives his genius for 3 days. I could never get sick listening to Chad Dudley. I think he's, one of the top 3 voices in the space and probably knows how to articulate raising case values better than anybody else out there. So I think that's one that's less big picture focused and more how do you look at what you have today and how do you make more from what you're currently doing rather than adding additional cases to inventory. Not that we don't always want that. It's CJ is a TV advertising group, but Chad is particularly good and thoughtful at articulating ways that you can work with your team to do more with less.
Yeah, I think that one I'm looking right now, September 26th. It's a law firm, accelerator.com. Accelerate your average fee 2024 legal conference by 30%. And I think a lot of that is Chad, Stephen, and James from Dudley DeBosier are going to be talking about their success. So that's another one, September, Nashville, for those of you who just left Nashville. And there's that one bar you forgot to go to. Time to go to that one. But this one is also a lot about for your operators in your firm, understanding your numbers, understanding how to look at your case and which ones should go to which lawyers and how to work the right files and finding, the juice in that squeeze that you might be missing. So that's a great one. And then right when you recover, you could just move to October, which is you don't really have to do anything except get an apartment, rent a house in Vegas. We got the Mac Daddy and Mass Tour conferences, which I'll let you talk about. MTMP. I'll let you take that one.
Sure. I mean, like MTMP, it's the definitive conference for mass torts. I think it is twofold. One is established players that go to network learn. It's also has an entire track dedicated for lawyers that want to learn about getting into mass torts, and they do a great job of onboarding people, getting them educated, figuring out if you want to do it yourself in-house or whether you want to refer out to co-counsels. Other ones right before mass torts, sort of smaller firms, generally not as much PI, the CleoCon. CleoCon's been going on in Austin, literally the Monday, Tuesday, leading into mass torts. And they put on, they've raised more money than anybody else in the legal space. It's $1 billion valuation. And they put on an insanely fun conference and have very thoughtfully brought together both interesting speakers as well as people that just really help you figure out how to get the law firm, usually more off the ground. It's much more of a 0 to $1 million, although many of the Clio users are larger. The conference is generally a smaller firm landscape.
So you got Clio into mass tort, then you get to go home, throw your clothes in the laundry, wash them, fold them, press them, and then you want to go right back to Vegas because you got Dan Ambrose's TLU Live. A great conference. A lot of the tracks are for real trial skills. Taught by trial lawyers, taught by experts. He does have some marketing track in there, but this is really a trial lawyer conference, and it's great for that. And that's also in Vegas. I'm going to pull it up while Seth, because I know you've been there, and as a lawyer, you get to understand both sides.
And like Dan's a ton of fun. Him and Matt put on a great show. They bring people in. I know that after big verdicts are achieved, people come in and do a play, a retrospect and a post-mortem on what went right. We see less of what went wrong, but the people out there are trial lawyers, and yes, they do have marketing tracks, but it is really a trial lawyer centric conference.
Yeah, that's October 16th through the 19th at the Caesars Palace. You can go to tlulive.com and get information on that. And then right after you finish that, you got to go home quickly. I'm not even sure it's worth going home. But there's another conference, which I believe you are speaking at, called Lawyer Growth Summit, also in Vegas. So I know you know a little bit about that. My friend Ashley is helping to organize that. But it's really back to back.
Look, I know I'm speaking, but I think you probably know more about it than I do. It sounds like it's the first time. They're really excited, putting a lot of resources into it. Should be, again, everybody's trying to find that niche within the legal conference space. And they clearly are trying to bring their tribe and expand it in Vegas.
Yeah, this is at the Fontainebleau, October 23rd to the 25th, lawyergrowthsummit.com. Pulling up some of the speakers, you got Seth Price, Dustin Rugi from Law Leaders. The people from Case Status. It's a new conference, so you never know, but the agenda is going to talking about intake excellence, empowering innovation. There's an intake panel, marketing experts, an AI panel, closing arguments, transformative AI. So a lot of interesting stuff. First time out of the gate. Should be a good one. So literally, if anybody wants to get together, reach out to me. We can get an Airbnb for the month and just move ourselves to Vegas. We just need a laundry machine so we can press the clothes and get ready to rock and roll. That's going to take us basically through the month of October, and then we can even throw it in there, the business of law back in Scottsdale, which is also where Pimp Cut. We'll talk about that next. Yeah. We gave you enough to get through.
Absolutely. Well, a lot to do there. A lot of masterminds we can talk about on future ones. Windy City Mastermind coming up, as well as Mastermind Experience. We'll put more details on our next broadcast.
Oh, yeah, the new one with Bill Biggs and John Knockhazel. A lot coming up.
Oh, yes, we got that. I think they only have 4 seats left as of time of taping, but it is an amazing. We should talk about that for a minute.
Yes.
2 of my favorite minds in the legal space. Biggs is just incredible on culture and operations. Knockhazel outside of the mic. If you can work with Mike Morris and build what they've built there, he's a juggernaut. These 2 guys are coming together. Bring your firms. First day is, I think, equity partners. Second day, all trial lawyers working on how to actually, and Biggs gives credit to me on this. I was like, look, I love hearing Chad Dudley and others talk about how you increase case values, but it's great to go hear it yourself. How do you get your whole team to do that? And so their vision is to take best practices of raising case values, bring your team to, I believe, Austin. So yes. First day with the principals, second day, they'll put you'll fly your lawyers there. You'll go through the process they're putting out, get buy-in from all of them, and then third day follow up and follow through on that. And the idea is that instead of just hearing about these things, we're talking about all these conferences, they're great, you take notes, you listen to these great speakers. The idea here is to bring your trial team out. And they were capping it at 15 groups. I believe there are 4 left. I think it's a $15,000 buy-in, but given the minds in that room, really seems like quite a deal.
Yes, I'm going to tell them, look, I didn't go to law school, but from what I've heard, bring your mind because you're going back to school. You bring your pens, bring your pads, bring your notes. They are going to go to school on these topics, and there's 2 of the best in the business. So definitely one if you want to grab one of those. That's not 4 spots left for people. That's 4 spots left for firms. So if 4 firms can still go and bring their teams, that's going to be an amazing.
When you buy in, you get your whole firm to go. It includes your entire trial team.
And I'll wrap up this episode with saying, if you have an event, please tell us about it. If you're a vendor in the industry and a lawyer, please share this podcast, this page with your friends. We want people to know about what's going on in the industry so we can all grow and all learn together. So let us know what's going on. Please join us at events, support these groups. We look forward to seeing you on the road. Seth and I are on the road a lot, so I look forward to seeing you.
Sounds great.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to the Conference Connection. Make sure to hit subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you for our next episode.